everyone, this is Board Games at Bourbon. I'm Glenn Flaherty, and right now I want to explain to you Dice Kingdoms of Valeria, which is a new roll and write coming to you from Daily Magic Games. And this is a pretty cool roll and write because this is a game where, first of all, it's beautiful. You can see it's one of the best looking roll and writes that is out there, frankly. But the game kind of has like this dice ricocheting effect, almost like you're playing pinball, where the die you use is going to bounce around and trigger a bunch of different things, and your board is going to unfold in different ways. Now, there are a lot of things going on, and I'll draw your attention to all of them. It is either 1 to 4 players. The multiplayer game is much like the solo, and I'm going to talk about that, and I'm going to do an example of how a turn works. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to explain is, first of all, you have these two boards here. You have side 1 and side 2, and they kind of connect together to give you this beautiful little mural here, which I really enjoy. And actually the artwork continues over, like the rivers and stuff, the roads connect. It looks really, really good. You're going to have these dice here that are in 2 varieties. You have the black dice here that are going to be used for harvests, and then these colored dice here that only the active player gets to use. You're going to have a market of cards up here that you get to acquire when you complete a certain section of the game, and these are essentially end-game scoring bonuses. They give you points for having the most, citizens filled out, or the most structures, or whatever it might be. There's a red section down here, and you fill them out progressively as you go, and along the way you get rewards. But finally, if you're the first person to complete a section, you get the highest score, which could be a 7, and the next person to fill it out gets a lower score, which is like a 5, for example. Then over here you have what are called roads and domains. The roads, as you fill them out, yes, they'll give you bonuses, but they also give you powers to unlock in the game, and that's pretty important. And you can get cards, scoring bonuses that, kind of benefit from what you did over here too. So there's a lot of intermingling between the parts. Over here, I have a stack of event cards. Now, when you play the solo game, if you roll doubles, you trigger an event, and they're usually bad. And there's actually a lot of physical indicators, graphical elements that help you play the solo mode, which I really appreciate. Something I haven't seen in games before. I'm really happy about that. There is a player token to tell you who the first player is, and then there are player aids over here. So I'm going to start by showing you the multiplayer, and then I'll briefly touch on the solo mode too, which is 99% the same anyway. Okay, so what we do, the active player rolls the dice. And what I did was I have a 6 and a 5. Now, what a 6 and a 5 is going to do is it's going to activate what's called my citizens. So if we look at the top here of the first page, there are citizens. Citizens have numbers, and then below the citizens are elements I could fill in. Like here's a circle and a star. If I fill out the circle, it's nothing, but the star is going to give me a point. But moreover, the more things I have filled out on citizens, the more I can do in their related guilds below. Okay, so let me show you what I mean here. So I have a 6 and I have a 5. Well, luckily on my board, right here, I have a number 5 citizen, and I have a black dot. I also have a 6 citizen and a black dot. Now, if you know Valeria, you don't only get the 6 and a 5, you get the combination. So you get 6, 5, and then I would also get 11. If I look over here on the 11, I actually don't have anything filled out, so that citizen will not activate. And what do I do from that point? Okay, so my 5 citizen has a symbol of a hammer. So that hammer is their guild. I'm going to come over here and fill out one of their locations. The 6 citizen is a helmet symbol. I'm going to go to their related guild, and I'm going to fill out one of their locations. Okay, now what's going to happen from that point is the next time I fill something out in their related guilds, I'm going to get a bonus. In both of these instances, there's something to be gained. In the hammer guild, we'll call it, there is a green square. And what that means is I would go over to the green section of my game board, and I would gain an element of building a road. And I want to build those roads because it gives me other bonuses and it gives me powers. Over in the helmet section, it has a little warrior icon, and the warrior icon is guarding the wall. And when I build along the wall, I might get strength for attacks, or I might get endpoints. And if I get strength for attacks, I go to the red section. And when I fill out the red section from left to right, I get other bonuses. Not only might I get more roads, but if I'm the first person to complete the entire section, I get straight up points. The second person to fill out it will get points as well, but it'll be lower. and so forth and so on. Okay, so I filled out, that was called my harvest fade. I have my citizens activated. Now I'm going to go ahead and choose one of these dice to apply to my game board. What do the dice do? Well, the yellow die is going to activate the citizen. Or I should say it's going to fill out the citizen. So for example, I have a 2 here. If I chose a 2, I could fill out this number 2 citizen and fill out one of these locations. So I would fill out, for example, the circle just below the number 2. And what does that do for me? That means in the future when I have a harvest round, if a 2 die is rolled on the black, the number 2 citizen is activated and I would get to fill out the related guild again and possibly get benefits and stuff like that. Okay, the red die is usually called a strength die, and that goes over here to the monster layers, and I can apply that to these areas. Now what's interesting is the monster layers are going to have very specific numbers. If I have a die from 1 to 6, I can start filling out this section. If I have 8 to 11, notice there's no 7. I get to fill out this section, and when I do that, I can get 5 or 3 points. And every one of these sections is a little bit different. This over here is 1 to 5 or 9. You have to get that very specific number. Now to get that specific number first or at all, you're going to have to manipulate the die most likely. Over here is 1 to 4, just the number 8 and just the number 10. And along the way, you might get a free citizen or get coins. Coins help you get end game score conditions. Over here it's 1 to 3 and then 11 to 12. Okay, and then I have my green die. My green die is going to activate the roads in the green section. Now, when you use the green, you fill out as many pips are on the green. Now, you may think that means bigger is better, but not really, because every time you hit a domain, which is a power you can gain, you have to stop your path. You're stopping in that little village, let's say. So, what do we have as far as powers? Well, I'm going to start either here or here, or here, or here. Those are all your starting roads. If I go to this domain first, that lists me plus or minus a red die, or plus or minus a green, or plus or minus a blue, or plus or minus my yellow. If I get down to this domain here, I instantly can gain a certain kind of citizen. If I get over here, now I can flip dice over, and it just goes on. If you keep going down the path, you might get gold coins. Gold coins let you get end game score conditions. You might get a soldier, which builds your wall and lets you do battle, and you can see how they start to interact with each other. Lastly, as far as the die, you have magic, and if you played Valeria before, the magic die augments other dice, okay? So if I have a 2, I could have, yellow, I could have filled out that 2 citizen, number 2 citizen, or I could have added the 5, and then I could have filled out the number 7 citizen, or I could have added it to my red to hit a very specific number 8 and go right there. Or I could take that blue and I can add it to my 3 green, and that could give me a really big stretch, and maybe that'll help me on this super long road here to really fill out the end and get a lot of bonuses there. You can do any of those things. And if I still don't have the number, if I've unlocked those domains, I can manipulate the dice even more. Now in the solo mode, what you're going to do is you have specific scores you're trying to beat. You roll the dice, you do your harvest, you manipulate your dice, you apply them, and then there's the second harvest phase where you roll the harvest dice again and you do what it says. Along the way, the first time you roll the dice, if you get doubles, you take that event. But other than that, it really plays the same. And the game moves pretty quickly. It's kind of neat to see how everything kind of ricochets and goes. And that, more or less, is going to be how Dice Kingdom works. So if you have any other questions about the game, let me know. Happy to tell you. And happy gaming, friends. Until next time, be well.